And hey everyone, welcome back to Otaku no Video, where Nick's back and we're talking about Funimation license announcements and their whole big deal starting yesterday with a bunch of Funimation licenses. What is this they're calling? I keep forgetting the name.
It's the Rollout Riot.
Rollout Riot, yes. They have to have a cute name every time they do this. Fine. Um, so, it's going on for, is it 10 days?
I think it's only
Only
5.
5? Okay. And they're clearly building up. I'll put it that way. Their first couple of announcements here, and this part of why we're doing the videos, because the first two announcements have been entirely for live action properties. The announcement last week was for a whole bunch of Shaw Brothers movies. Now, for those who aren't aware, Shaw Brothers is one of actually the two big. I misspoke on Twitter the other day. One of the two big kung fu martial arts studios in Hong Kong, going back decades into the 60s and 70s. Them and Golden Harvest were the two big ones making. They were one of the studios that made Jackie Chan who he was, and just they've been instrumental in that. So they got those, and then today they got is it Kamui Gaiden? Is that the name of it? Kamui Gaiden and Robo
It's just
Geisha.
it's just titled as Kamui.
Kamui, okay. It was Kamui and then Robo Geisha. Now, Robo Geisha is by the guy who did Machine Girls. And so if you know anything about Machine Girls, you know what we're talking about. Absolutely ridiculous, over-the-top action, just we don't care, sort of Tarantino style. Only with a Japanese sensibility, which is scary, yes. So there's that, and then there's Kamui, which I think is more of like a serious, from what I've seen, sort of like a serious ninja thing. Is that the feel you got?
Yeah, I really don't know that much about it, but from the screen caps I've been seeing, yeah. And that sort of goes along with some of the other more serious works that they've released from Asia, live action works anyway.
Yeah, they did Shinobi, I think, and a couple others. And like Nick and I were talking earlier, I think the good thing about this is that these are really, I'll say, solid properties in a sense of things that have gotten a lot of fan reaction, a lot of media attention, good or bad, but stuff that definitely is noteworthy. And like you mentioned, there's still it's not like this is their first live action thing.
Yeah, they've something that people seem to forget is that they do own a few other properties that aren't anime.
Hmm.
And Navarre is not exclusively anime to begin with. And actually, I believe this is from, Parent. Wait a minute. BCI had them.
Uh,
And so that's where these are coming in terms of, we already sort of kind of have them. It's probably pretty cheap to pick them back up. And, a lot of people are going to be pretty happy about this, I think. A lot of cinephiles, people who aren't anime fans will be happy about this. But the anime fans just like to complain about it, which I'm not completely certain why, because at least the con-going fans have proven themselves to like sort of cheesy, cult classic-y stuff. And this is right up their alley. The thing that the Machine Girls guy did,
Robo
you know,
Geisha.
yeah, Robo Geisha, that's perfect for that audience. And
Yeah.
it makes perfect sense. I'm not uber excited about it, but okay, maybe like if it's down to $15 at Right Stuff, okay, I'll whatever. And yeah, these sound like pretty notable things. I mean,
Definitely, and I think it's worth noting that it's a good idea for Funimation to diversify, not just do anime, and the fact that that they're picking up interesting stuff. Now, there has been a lot, as you mentioned, a lot of negative anime fan reaction that, oh, rage. I shake my fist at you for not licensing this show from 1986 that I love, which is, fine, but it certainly seems like these are worthwhile things. Now, the big thing will be the question of what they're going to be doing for the next 3 days and what kind of stuff that they're announcing. Now, I think you've decoded the fact that they'll probably have Summer Wars in there.
yeah, after the manga UK release, that's definitely well, if we don't get it now, we're going to get it. And I think we all know that we're eventually getting the license announcement. Summer Wars is a huge deal. That's the director of The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, I believe. That sold pretty well, at least among the
Yeah,
fan base. So
that was the number 4 box office topping anime film of 2009
in Japan,
in Japan. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, which makes sense. And I mean, I think they're also, well, we know pretty much that they have Toradora.
Hmm.
After the comment that their YouTube profile left on that video. But yeah, I don't know if they're going to. What would be really cool is if they didn't announce single anime titles. Is if tomorrow was Summer Wars and Toradora and something else, and then or more than that. But I don't really know. I'm sort of expecting more rescues, really, like we had last time, where it was almost that was sort of a letdown, where some of the rescues were just they felt like random things. I mean, I'm sure they sold well or better than I thought they did, but they didn't seem like, oh yeah, let's go out and, Gungrave needs to be in the hands of people. And, okay, I liked it, but I don't know that you need to go out of your way to license it. But
Yeah, and there certainly seem to be lots of old school stuff that hasn't been picked up again. But then again, yeah, I mean, I have no idea what the licensing hell is for any of that stuff either.
Sailor Moon, yeah!
Yeah, no kidding. It's like, oh, yeah, you want to talk about hell? Ugh.
People will totally buy this.
Oh, they would, and yeah, that's the problem. Is that there are how many different series and how many different licenses and how many different versions and edited, unedited, and the dub and which parts of the dub are.
I still don't know if they really would buy it because I honestly think that these live action titles push way more copies than anything anime related. Although this is, anime related, okay. But I mean, anime productions don't sell nearly as well as they should for whatever reason. We're not going to go into that. We could, but we're not going to. Regardless, this ultimately means more anime in the future, though.
Yeah.
But I'm sort of surprised that so many people are like honestly angered by this. That and even I don't know. I'm a bit surprised by this, but it doesn't really shock or annoy me in the way that a lot of people have expressed on the internet lately. And honestly, like, is it keeping you from downloading the fan subs of whatever
Right.
show you're complaining about?
Or is it keeping you from buying anything else that Funimation is releasing? And I mean, yeah, honestly, Funimation's done a lot of licenses this year. I mean, they've really been active. So the idea that they don't have 20 shows to announce is not a huge shock.
And I mean, things are definitely slowing down. I think economy wise. Yeah, it would be interesting to see if we have more live action titles in the future, and also just who they sell to. I think that we've both sort of know that mostly not anime fans will buy these, but it'll be interesting to see if maybe Funimation will not be an anime company in a few years. Somebody joked on Twitter that tomorrow K-drama from
Right? Yeah.
from Funimation, and it's like, yeah, that actually we're not going to rule that out.
Not at all. I think honestly, it'd be awesome to see some companies step to the plate and say, okay, we're going to release a couple of K dramas out here. Here's what you've been missing.
Well, some people already have. I mean,
True.
there is that lone company. I can't remember what they're called, but they've released a few things. But yeah, it's definitely not really. There are some fandoms that are more screwed than anime. And anime is actually very, very surprising on its own how it has the fan sub community, and there's always or almost always a translation of what you're looking for. Maybe not the entire thing, but people are working towards it. Or they just sort of abandon the project and we never hear from it again. But there is sort of that presence there that a lot of other fandoms don't have at all. Look at the Asian film fan; it just
Yeah.
you're sort of screwed. Sorry,
Oh, yeah.
outside of Kurosawa. But
Yeah, totally. And I mean, I have a region-free DVD player for that, or Blu-ray player for that exact reason. And there's a lot of stuff that I'm like, I can only get it raw. That's just the way it is. All right, cool. Well, I think we've covered this pretty well. So, any final notes?
well, what do you think they're going to license next?
I'm agreeing with Summer Wars, Toradora. I keep holding out the hope that the Denokoil will be in there somewhere. That's the only show that I'm like, will someone please license this thing? The Ghost Hound is out here, so I don't know. Other than that, there could be more Evangelion news. With 2.0, whatever version of 2.0 they're gonna give out. Who knows?
That sounds like a fair assessment.
We'll see, and we'll see in a few days. Fortunately.
Yeah, or summer.
Yeah, true. All right, sounds good. Take care.
All right, see ya.
Bye.